Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about all things Excel. Today we'll be discussing some common errors that you may encounter while working on an Excel sheet. These errors are represented by certain error codes like value, division name, not available reference, and then null and also num. In this video I'll be explaining what this error means and what cause them and how to fix them. Here you can see some Excel error you can find sometime in your worksheet when you work with the formula. I'm gonna show you today. Now first what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the value one. The value error appears when a formula contain an invalid argument or operand. This can happen when you try to perform a mathematical operation on non-numerical values, or when you use a function with the wrong data type. Like here I already made it and you can see this value and it say here I use the two number like number 4 and number 2, and there's a 2 row, and here this is the 4 and this is the 5. So this one is the formula I used, like I want to sum it, so I use the formula bar in here, and when I type in here, now you can see this is the A2 column and B2 column. You can see I will just sum it, but when I click over here, now it says the value, it's meant it needs to be a number. Here you can see it's a 5R. It can count the 5R, but it can count only the 5. Let me just correct the value. So how can I do that? Click on that, and if I use like only the 5, let me hit on the enter. Now it say the 9. So you can just fix it by this way. To fix this error, you need to make sure that all the argument or operands are the correct data type, so you need to just check it. The next one is the division. The division errors occurs when you try to divide a number by 0 or by a cell that contains 0. So here I already used the number 1, here the 90, and then number 2 it's called 0, but formula with error, let me just click on that, and it says B2 divided by B3, and B3 it has the 0. So for this reason it's come out the division error. So when I use some number, like if I say the 3, let me click on the enter. Now you can see it is the 30 and it doesn't make any error of them. So it's mean when you do have the 0 and also and the blank, so it come up the division error. Okay, let me do with the blank one, delete on it, then it's come with the division error. Okay, then next one we'll go to the name, and here you can see I already do have the roll now with of students, and it says 0 1 2 3 is kind of until the 13, and here I give the marks like 52 63 and 98 like this here. And the next column I use the inter roll now of student, here 14, and marks I give the name. So the names error appear when Excel doesn't recognize a formula or function. This can happen when you mix up a function name or when you use a function that is not available in your version of Excel. So like here when I click over the look, it doesn't, like if I say the lookup, so it will work like lookup, so it will work. But when you use the lookup already our function, but when you use like the LOK, but it doesn't appears or it doesn't have any function in your Excel sheet with the lock, so it will shows up you to the name. So how can you fix it? Just use the correct formula. Like if I use lookup, if I use this one and look up the vectors and use the formula, you can just use like this one to here, and if I say this one, let me just close it. Now it will come up like this, here also the 98 here. So it usually work like this. So because I select this one, click on that, now you can see here is the formula right one, and the rest of that they have the wrong. So to fix this error, you need to check up spelling of the function name and make sure that it is available in your version of your Excel. Okay, then next error is the not available. Here you can see in the sheet I already made it up, and here is some information about the name and mark in the students. So this error indicate that a value is not available. This can happen when you use a lookup function and the value you are looking for is not in the lookup range. Like here you can see when I use Daniel and it's the mark, it say the value lookup and indicate the range. Like here I selected the range and it say the error because it's Daniel is not in our list. For this reason it says of the non-applicable lookup. So how can you fix it? Fix this error, you need to check the lookup range and make sure that it includes the value you are looking for. Like if I use the name, the James, let me hit on the enter. Now you can see it's find the James because it's the in the range and the James is in our list. For this reason is correct and it's keep up the right answer. Okay, let me do with another name. Like if I say the Robert, let me hit on the Robert and it's come up at the right answer. So the next point is the reference. The reference error appears when our formula refers to a cell that is not valid. And here you can see the reference error appear when a formula refer to cell that is not valid. This can happen when you delete a cell or a range of cell that a formula is referencing. So let me just click on here. I already use this one. So what I'm gonna do, if I say the formula use and use the equal symbol, and if I use like sum and this one and use this one and also use the C12 and close with the first bracket and hit on the enter. Now you can see this is the right one, but when I delete this column or this row, let me delete on it. Now you can see it's with the reference error. It means if you delete or if don't have the number or cell, so it will come up with the reference. So to fix this error, you need to check the formula and make sure that all the cell references are valid. Okay, the next one, sometimes you may find this kind of error. So it's mean the error occurs when a cell is not wide enough to display the value. This can happen when the value is too long or when the cell formatting is incorrect. You can see it has the date and you can see on here, or if I type something like 1 2 3 4 like this and long word. Okay, let me use, and like if I type this one, now you can see, and if I do like this one, now you can see it's come up the this kind of error. So to fix this error, you need to adjust the column width or change the cell formatting. Like if I use like this white and it's come up the now is the correct one, like this one. If I use the white, now it's come up the right one. Okay, this is the number one. Just I need to go to the numbering, then it will come up the full, and it can be now fixed. Okay, then next one, I'm gonna use the null. When I click over there, now you can see the null error appears when you use a space instead of a column to separate argument in a formula. Like when I click over here, I can just show you here the formula bar, it say the sum. Here the range is given, but in the middle you can just carefully see that there is no comma, just it has the space. So for this reason it's come with the null. So how can you fix it? Just go to the formula and use, like if I use the comma, let me use the comma and hit on the enter. Now it's come the answer and it doesn't have the any null error. So for fix it this error, you need to check the function and the argument to make sure that they are invalid. Like if I use like some, I'm gonna just show you this one, and if I use like some comma and use, and if I don't use the comma, I just use a space and use this one and close with the first bracket, let me hit on that and it's come to null. So how can you fix it? Just use the comma instead of the space. Now it will be fixed. Okay, now you can see it's now fixed. The next one, num error. Here it say the find square root, I already made it, and here is the find value, it is already the num. So it's mean the num error indicate that the value is not valid. This can happen when you use a function that is not compatible with the data type, or when you use a function with the invalid arguments. To fix this error, you need to check the function and the argument to make sure that they are invalid. So here I'm already used 10, and here you can see it's only the 1 2 3 4 and 5. Like if I type in here, like when I click on the 1, now it say it's okay. Now you can see when I click on the 1, now it's come with the find value. But when I use the different value like 12, so because it doesn't have the value in here in 12, so it will not with the right answer, so it will come up with the num error. Okay, you can now see that. So what's the meaning of the division error, names error, and not available error reference, and the null and the num error, and how can you fix it? So that's all for today's video on common Excel errors. We hope that this video has been helpful in understanding what these errors mean and how to fix them. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more Excel tips and tricks. Thank you for watching.